Here's the first photo I ever took of Diane. It was the first time she visited me at my home in Sebastopol. She was 25, vivacious, and so full of dreams. We sat down and started talking. It was delightfully easy talking with her. I had a camera beside me, and I asked if I could photograph her. She didn't say yes, but she didn't say no. She just had the slightest hint of a smile on her face. I took that as an answer. I picked up my camera and pointed it her way. As I did, Diane reached over and grabbed an old papier-mâché mask propped up on a bookshelf near her chair. I assumed she was going to put the mask on for the photo. After all, she was a Leo, and the mask was of a lion. But instead, she peered at me over the top of the mask. I took my photo and called it good. Over the course of the next 30 years, I'd photographed Diane from time to time, but she was never a very willing subject, especially after she began to pursue a career in photography. She much preferred to be behind the camera, not in front of it. I'm glad she obliged me this first photo, though. It's one of my favorites of her. At the time, I had no idea who the lady behind the mask really was. As the years went by, I came to know her. She became my best friend and soulmate. All these years later, I could write a great big book about Diane, or perhaps spend the last chapter of my life telling my son stories about his mother's life. They are really good stories about a special person, that lady behind the mask. As an anthropologist, I've always been fascinated with masks. Some are easily seen, others aren't. So many people in this world, and all of them wearing masks. Some of us celebrate with masks while others hide behind them. The mask wearers comprise our families, our co-workers, our classmates, our circle of friends. They are us, and they are everywhere. I wear a mask. You do too. We wear masks because the world expects it of us, and whether we want to admit it or not, we expect it of ourselves. That's because we've been trained that way, broken in. And yet, how often we find ourselves wondering who exists behind the mask. If we're lucky, we see others for who they truly are. But it takes time to discover the person behind the mask. Sometimes it takes a long time. But that's the beauty of enduring relationships. Longevity necessitates patience. In a sped-up world like ours, it's good to slow down and learn to appreciate the little things about the people who give meaning to our lives. In the end, it's these small things that create the strong connections that make for enduring friendships. But it takes time. I feel blessed I took the time and came to know the lady behind the mask. And now I hope you do too.